Timraha hula vanavushak Taifshi agus ulaveist. That's how is every witch, ghost, and monster. Over the weeks coming up to Samhain or Halloween, we will be telling the stories of witches, vampires, monsters, and all things that creep around this time of year when the veil between this world, and the other world is lifted. So sit back and enjoy the great Celtic music as always, learn some Gaelic, but prepare to be scared. Here is a few Gaelic words to help you with your Halloween or Oiche Samhain. Witch, Bana Vushak. Wizard, Fushak. Ghost, Taifshi. Apple, Ul. Nut, Crow. Lantern, Lantar. Mask, Odenin. Monster, Ulaveist. Owl, Kalika Oiche. Bat, Yaltak. Pumpkin, Peapack. And turnip, Tunip. All right, enjoy.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me. In these last few days, I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing songs that make me think about where I came from, and well, that's the reason why I seem so far away today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I'll think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. I have moved, and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, and well, I lost the friends that I needed losing, and found others on the way. And I've tried, and I've kept on trying. Stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying, and well, that's the reason why I seem so far away today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I'll think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. let me tell you that I love you, and I'll think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
Learn the history of Gaelic songs as you learn to sing them. Gaelic and English lyrics are provided to give you a deeper understanding of the song, to guide you when you're learning, or just sit back and enjoy these beautiful songs. Welcome to Learn a Gaelic Song. Today's song is Gurmilis Morlach. Now, the story of this song is typically a Hebridean story akin to that of Tennyson's Enoch Arden. Now, this poem lent its name to a principle in law that after being missing a certain number of years, typically 7, a person could be declared dead for purposes of remarriage or inheritance. Now, the woman who in the song is singing to her child had, when she was a girl, 2 lovers. The one she married went away as a soldier and was supposed to have been killed. The other took his place, absent the affections of the woman, but the supposedly dead man unexpectedly returns many years later, and the woman, hearing of his return, is singing the song to her child, which is not his child. As he arrives at her cottage door, it is a song of passionate love for the child, and of passionate desire that the unexpected and unwelcome husband, Termich Rua, which is read Norman, was not under the sod. She must have been a very confused woman. Alright, I hope you enjoy this song, and remember, Gaelic at the top, English at the bottom. Get ready.
Gurmilis Morlach, Gurlach Morlach, Gurmilis Morlach, Nyan Ewing Oig. Si Moran Aljach, si Lugan Mahad, Shevi Gatalag Morlach. Gurmilis Morlach, Gurlach Morlach, Gurmilis Morlach, Nyan Ewing Oig. Gurmi Vigwala, Edrein and Gruagach, Ach Tarang at Ruag of for Gurmilis Morlach, Nyan Ewing Gurmilish morak, gurlach morak, gurmilish morak, nyane oing oig. Gurmilish morak, gurlach morak, gurmilish morak, nyane oing oig. Oh, it's whispered in the kitchen, it's whispered in the hall. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, that the king's daughter gaes wi a bairnie by her brother, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. He has ta'en his sister doon to their father's dear park. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, wi his yew tree bow and arrow held fast against his back, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when that ye hear me gie a loud cry, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, loose fae your bow and arrow, and there let me lie, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when that he heard her gie a loud cry, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, a silver arrow frae his bow he suddenly let fly. They darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. He has dug to her a grave that was lang, wide and deep. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, and he's buried his ain sister with their bairnie at her feet. They darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when at last he came to his father's hall, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, there was music and minstrels and dancing and all, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. Willie, my son Willie, what gies ye sick pain? The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, I hae lost that sheath and knife I may never find again, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. My father made ships that sail upon the sea, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair. But sic a sheath and knife they can never bring to me, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere.
Scottish Gaelic is native to the Gaels of Scotland. Scottish Gaelic developed out of the Old Irish and learning this beautiful language can be a direct link to your Gaelic ancestors. Follow along in Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, and like I said, let's try a little Gaelic. Fáilte Ye Olde Scot the Beginner's Gaelic Course. Kimra Hula Dunya, how is everyone? Looky there, you already know how to say welcome to and how is everyone. Alright, in the next 25 lessons of Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, that's Let's Try a Little Gaelic, with a little work you can gain a rudimentary understanding of the Scottish Gaelic language. Now, these lessons were taken from my weekly podcast beginning back on May 15th of 2020. So if you'd like, you can listen to them there as well. But please remember that I am not an authority on the Gaelic language. I just love learning it. I struggle like most all learners. And so what I teach comes right from well-respected Gaelic teachers. I hope you find it interesting, informative, and fun. And as always, I display on the screen what I'm discussing so you can follow along. All right, Kersh Maha, which means, all right then, let's get started. Is lesson 7 in our 25-week course, and they are numbers and some useful vocabulary. Now, there's not going to be a test at the end of this today. Like I usually give you like 6 sentences to figure out. I'm going to give you a buttload of words here to learn, and I figured that's enough. All right, so let's dive right in. Numbers. So we're just going to go right through these. Un, ja. Un is 1, ja is 2, tri is 3, keher is 4, cook is 5, shia 6, shach 7, ok 8, noi 9, and jech 10. And then go after that is un jig. If you notice, you just add the jig at the end after the initial number, and that gives you your continuing number. Un jig 11, da jig 12, tri jig 13, keher jig 14, cook jig 15, shia jig 16, shach jig 17, och jig 18, noi jig 19, and fiket 20. And the same applies here, except the word starts at the beginning, and you throw the other part of the number at the end. So after 20, it's fiket sahun 21, fiket siya 22, fiket satri 23, fiket sakeher 24, fiket sakuak 25, fiket shia 26, fiket shach 27, fiket ok 28, fiket noi 29, and jech hiket 30. All right, because that gets lenited there. All right. Other numbers, da hiket 40, da hiket sejek is 50. Also, le hiet, half of 100 is 50. Tri fiket 60, hiet is 100, and mila is 1,000. You've probably seen in Ireland or heard from Irish, Kiet Mila Faucha, 100,000 welcomes. That incorporates these two words here. Kiet for 100 and Mila for 1,000. All right. Let's move on to some words. Nouns. Q. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the noun, then I'm going to give it to you with a definite article. So, Q, and that's NQ, the dog. Cat equals cat, then it's NCat, the cat. Tie, NTie, the house. Car, NCar, the car. Bornock, woman. Bornok, the woman. Dunya, man or husband. And Dunya, the man, the husband. Gila, boy. And Gila, the boy. Nian, girl or daughter. Nian, the girl or the daughter. Mook is pig. Vuk, the pig. Board, table. Board, the table. Boxa, box. Boxa, the box. Yisk, fish. And Chiesk, the fish. Kriev, tree. Kriev, the tree. Klarsik, harp. Klarsik, the harp. Brog, shoe. Vrog, the shoe. Rahat, the road. Rod, the road. Oren, song. Choran, or Choran, yeah, the song. Uul, apple. And Tool, the apple. Chora, sheep. Chora, the sheep. Poke, kiss. Folk, the kiss. Skin, knife. Skin, the knife. All right. Now we're going to run through these same words, but we're going to do them as if you were using them as a plural. Nachoin, the dogs. Nachetch, the cats. Natayin, the houses. Nacherachin, the cars. Nabornok, the women. Nadunya, the men or the husbands. Nagilin, the boys. Nanianin, the girls. Namukin, the pigs. Naboord, the tables. Naboxikin, the boxes. Nahesk, the fish. Nakliavin, the trees. Naklarsikin, the harps. Nabroken, the shoes. Narohiden, the roads. Nachoran, the songs. Nahulan, the apples. Nachorach, the sheep. Napulkin, the kisses. Naskianin, the knives. All right. All right, now we're going to move on to some verbs. You got to have the imperative, which is the command, and the verbal noun, which is the present participle. And I display what I'm talking about. And in our displays, you're going to see that some of them are underlined. Now, these are irregular verbs, and irregular verbs are a little more complicated. We'll talk about them more later on in a different lesson. But for now, just realize that they're irregular verbs, and there's more that you need to know about them. All right. Aber, say. Achra, saying. Cuddle, sleep. Achadel, sleeping. Brin, speak. Brin, speaking. Kluin, hear. Klunshin, hearing. Koit, look. Koit, looking. Koshik, air. Koshik, walking. Dance, dance. Dancing, dancing. Gian, make or do. A Janov, making or doing. Esh, listen. Ak, eshtik, listening. Fuck, leave. A fuckle, leaving. Feck, see. A fecking, seeing. Eat. Ak ihya, eating. Lay, read, a leg, reading. Liam, jump, a liam, jumping. Aber, work, ach aber, working. Ol, drink, ach ol, drinking. Polk, kiss, a polkig, kissing. Rock, go, a dole, going. Rueth, run, a rueth, running. Shall, see or look, a shouten, seeing or looking. Shes, stand, a shessive, standing. Shine, sing, a shine, singing. Skriv, write, a skrivig, writing. Stat, stop, a stat, stopping. Streep, climb, a streep, climbing. Swi, sit, a swi, sitting. Halav, leave, a falav, leaving. Hick, come, a chian, coming. And kur, put, a hur, putting. All right. Remember that those were underlined or regular verbs, so we're not going to worry about that. They'll be discussed more in advanced learning, and just know that they're kind of oddball verbs. So.
Onegeestje, toe skele de eentje neervat, dan rust de valde. Onegeestje, toe skele de hoorde niet wie als fotografeertje in een beelmeertje. Hoe gaf zo'n wat aan een onegeestje, toe skele de eentje neervat, dan rust de valde. Onegeestje, toe skele de slogan horen, en daar is de moesjas, kom bij de rust. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, en redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, sloganare, een schisse van Mari, schakster hani, een reilig aan die onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, en redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, niet nikke de, me sisse kele, smanase veen, voor de reetje man. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, dan redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele. Dan zeg ik voor haar in Piatri van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, dan redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, kleine taarne, nog een pointe na he. Had daar de baaskeer in maatje en een onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, dan redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, maar hou het van drie. Chapelles pianos, per selciam, en dove on the onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, eentje neervat, dan redde van de onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, onegeestje. Tu skele jadele, onegeestje. Tu skele jadele.
Celtic history brings you the tales of the land, castles, warriors, heroes, legends, and customs that have created the rich, vibrant, and sometimes strange and wonderful history of the Celtic world. A poem by Robert Burns, read by John Kearney in the original Scots language.
When chapman bellies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tat their gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy and getting fou and unca happy, we think on the long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth fund honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae air ae nicht did canter. Old air, whom ne'er a tune surpasses, for honest men and bonny lassies. Oh, Tam, had thou but been sae wise as ten and ane wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel there was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November to October, a market day there was nae sober. She prophesied that late or soon there would be fun deep drooned in Doon, or catched by warlocks of the mirk in Alloway's old haunted kirk. Gentle dames, it gas me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sage advices the husband fae the wife despises. But to our tale. A market night, Tam had got planted on right, fast by an ingle bleezing finely, with Riemann swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow Suitor Joni, his ancient trusty drouthy crony. Tam looed him like a very brother, they'd been fou for weeks together. The next Rivon with sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was getting better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with secret favours, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rear and rustle, Tam did nae mind the storm a whistle. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white then melts forever, or like the borealis race that flitter, you can point their place, or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide, the hour approaches, Tam on ride. That hour, o night's black arch the key stain, that dreary hour, he mounts his beast in, and sack a night he takes the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twas blown its last, the rattling showers rose in the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep, and lying the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deal had business on his hand. Wheel mounted in his grey mare Meg, a bitter never lifted leg, Tam skilped it on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, was glowering round with prudent care, lest bogles catch him unaware. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where geese and hoolets nightly cry. By this time it was crossed the ford, where in the snow the chapmen smoored, and past the Burts and Meikle Stain, where drunken Charlie broke Snake Bane, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters fund the murdered bairn, and near the thorn abund the well, where Mungo's mother hanged hersel. Before him Doon pours all his floods, the doubling storm rode through the woods, the lightnings flash frae pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when, glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a bleeze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers they can make us scorn. We tippany, we fear nae evil, we Iskawa will face the devil. The swat sae reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he cared nae deals a boddle. But Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light. And wow! Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks, and witches, and a dance. Nae cotillion brent new frae France, but hornpipes, jigs, to spaes and reels, put life and metal in their heels. I went up bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large. To give them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and got them skittle, till roof and rafters all did dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses that showed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in his cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderous banes and gibber irons, 'twas span lang wi unchristened bairns, a thief new cutted for a rape, wi his last gasp his gab did gape, 5 tomahawks in blood red rusted, 5 scimitars wi murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son a life bereft, the grey hairs yet stacked to the heft, wi mair a horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleekit, till Ilka Carlin swat and reekit, and coosed their daddies to the work, and lickit at it in their sark. Oh, Tam, had they been queens, oh, plump and strapping in their teens, their sarts instead of crishy flinin, been snow white 1700 linen, their breeks of mine, my only pair, the gents were plush, I get blue hair, I would have given them off my hearties, for a blink of the bonny birdies, but withered beldams, old and droll, rigwoody hags with speen or foal, loping and flinging in a crummock. I wonder didn't he turn her stomach, but Tam ken what was one fool brawly. There was a winsome wench and Wally that night enlisted in the corps. Her cutty sark o' paisley harn, which is a lassie she had worn in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best and she was vaunty. A little kinder reverend granny, that sarchy cough for her wee nanny with 12 pun Scots, to his all her riches, would ever grace a dance o' witches. But hear my muse her wingman cour, sick flights of her beyond her poor, to sing how Nanny lap and flang, a supple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like in bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered, and fidge flew fain, and hocht and blew wi might and main, till first a caper sign another, Tam tint his reason all together, and roars out, "Well done, Cutty Sark!" And in an instant, all was dark. And scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied. As bees besuit wi angry folk, when plundering hares assail their bike, as eager runs the market crowd, when cat the thief resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow. Oh, Tam, you'll get your fern, and hell they'll roast you like a hern. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a wolf a woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, to win the keystane of the brig. Therein thou thy tail may toss, her running stream the dead across. But ere the keystane she could make the fiend a tail she had to take for Nanny, hard afore the rest, hard upon noble Maggie Preston, flew at Tam with fury settle, but little was she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master hale, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught up at the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, wha this tale of truth shall read, elk man and mother's son take heed, whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think you may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember, Tam O'Shanter's mare.
Kashi Hirun Holiara Gunda Yanagrum Mahiva Bersarivam Holiara Vanu Heru Bachorinyu.
Everyday Celtic Ways brings you the mythology, traditions, and customs that have created a unique and personal culture that still affects those that are Celtic and those that just love the Celtic world.
Welcome to Dark Celtic History. The Monster of Glamis Castle.
He was an heir to one of Scotland's noblest titles, but is said to have been locked away in a secret chamber in the family castle, his existence denied after being born seriously deformed. Thomas Lyon Bowes quite cruelly became known as the Monster of Glamis, with the tragic birth of his heir feeding the imagination of Victorian storytellers, local gossips, and likely even giddy aristocrats keen to entertain their guests after dinner. What is known is that Thomas was born on October 21st, 1821 at Glamis Castle in Angus, with the official record stating the baby boy died on that very same day. His parents were Thomas, Lord Glamis, son of the 11th Earl of Strathmore, and Charlotte Lyon Bowes. The couple were the great-great-grandparents of the Queen Mother, who was also born at Glamis, as was her daughter, Princess Margaret. Rumors started circulating in villages around Glamis Castle immediately about the supposed death of young Thomas, which were likely fueled by reports from the midwife that Thomas had survived the birth. An apparent lack of a gravestone for the boy probably supported the suspicions surrounding his fate. Over time, the story grew, though. Allegedly, a workman who encountered Thomas in a passageway close to the chapel was offered money by the Earl to immigrate to Australia and never tell a soul of what he had seen. That workman's passed down what he knows to his son, and then it was passed to his grandson. This is how we come to know of the Monster of Glamis Castle today, dispelling all myth and rumor and telling the cold hard facts of incest, murder, conspiracy, and revenge. Added proof of the tale is how the estate manager refused to step foot in the castle after being told about the purpose of the secret chamber. Sir Walter Scott, famous writer, wrote of an eerie night that he spent at Glamis, in which he referred to the secret chamber. Although he mentioned no monster in that article in 1830, a later version of his story featuring the monster appeared in the New York Times in 1864. In 1908 edition of Notes and Queries, published by Oxford University Press, goes into great detail about the mystery of Glamis, with the writer claiming that he had known the story for 60 years. The writer claimed to have spoken to the workman in Australia and had certain facts so close to the truth that it was no surprise when he came up. No trace was ever found of him. It said the story was that in the castle of Glamis, the celebrated old castle of the Earls of Strathmore, is a secret chamber. In this chamber is confined a monster, who is the rightful heir to the title and property, but who is so unpresentable, so disfigured, that it is necessary to keep him out of sight and out of possession of everything he is entitled to. The secret is supposed to be known to only 3 persons: the Earl of Strathmore, his heir, and the manager of the estate. Depictions of the mysterious Earl also emerged in time. Jacinth Hope Simpson, in her book Who Knows, suggested that the boy may have suffered a genetic defect, given that the child's parents were actually cousins first removed. The historian Mike Dash, who writes for the Charles Fort Institute, also wrote of a second secret of the Glamis legend that emerged during the 19th century. Far from being home to an unwanted heir, the secret chamber contained the remains of members of the rival Ogilvy clan, who came from lands at nearby Kirnmere. Unable to admit that he may have been the cause of his son's deformity and mutation, Lord Thomas Glamis filled his son's head with tales of rival clan Ogilvy and the magical vengeance spells the witches of that clan had probably cursed upon him for the wrongdoing by our detached forefathers who clashed with their clan from time to time. Then one day, after members of the actual rival Ogilvy clan had sought refuge at Glamis during a storm, they were allowed in the property, given hospitality as it always should be given in the Highlands, and shown into the chamber, though, where they were barricaded in and starved. Thomas Lyon Bowes, the Monster of Glamis, was able to get the revenge he had dreamed of after years of psychological torture by his father. He ripped them to shreds and stacked their bodies to rot. He would not let anyone near or even view their bodies. He considered their bones his conquest, his trophy. Historian Mike Dash wrote that their skeletons, still scattered on the floor, was a secret that the Lyons family was so anxious to conceal as to kill to do it. While the true mystery of Castle Glamis remains unexplained, it does appear true that the castle was burdened with a particularly dark secret, one that grew and got increasingly uncomfortable, though. Thomas Lyon Bowes, the Monster of Glamis, became bored with his secret chamber after a few years, and when he became strong enough, he vanished. He was given a meal one evening, and the next morning, when servants went to collect the dinner tray, the secret chamber door was unlocked, and the adjacent window was open. Footprints could be seen easily in the mud of the dew-drenched lawn. The prints went all the way to the nearby stream and were lost forever from there. Thomas Lyon Bowes, the Monster of Glamis, was gone. Claude Bowes Lyon, the grandfather of the Queen Mother, who inherited the earldom in 1865, reportedly said, "If you could even guess the nature of this castle's secret, you would get down on your knees and thank God it was not yours." Reports say that for a few years, the family was forced to make payoffs and bribes to keep any incidents nearby the castle quiet. And then one day, it all just stopped. It is believed that Thomas Lyon Bowes, the Monster of Glamis, had died, but no one knows for sure because no body was ever found. The end.
Woohoo! Stop the presses. Here. Ready.
Hold it right there. Did I say the end? Now, I don't often get the chance to add to any of these stories, yet on watching the new drama on Netflix called The Crown, I was forced to rush to confirm what I had just seen. To my amazement, it was all true, and it directly adds information to the story that I just told you. Princess Margaret, after having some health issues, went to see a therapist, and it was there that she was informed that her family was plagued with mental illness. Now, it was then she was horrified to learn about the sisters. Now, first she looked into the official record and found that the sisters were recorded as having died. But then she did some sleuthing, and her and a friend of hers who was a priest, they found the sisters. Nerissa Bowes Lyon and Catherine Bowes Lyon, first cousins of Queen Elizabeth, were secretly incarcerated in the Royal Earlswood Asylum for Mental Defectives in 1941, along with other relatives of the royal family who suffered mental illness as well. Total of 5 of them. They were squirreled away and forgotten, yet these sisters knew exactly who they were and what family they belonged to, even in their diminished capacity. The official reason for keeping them hidden away from the public was to hide the fact that there was mental illness in the royal family, for they had already had their share of mental illness shown publicly in the past. Now, was it a cover-up, a mistake? The Queen Mother admits she knew all about Nerissa and Catherine's institutionalization, but did nothing about it so that her bloodline would seem pure. Beyond the cruel connotations of the explanation, what that essentially means is that Queen Mother was trying to prevent anyone from having a reason to dispute her husband, George VI, taking the throne after his brother, Edward VIII, abdicated. Now, the scandal uncovered after Nerissa's death in 1986 was the subject of a 2011 documentary. Sadly, though, all this could have been avoided with a simple, logical analysis of the bloodline. You see, the therapist that Princess Margaret went to see figured out that the mental illness was hereditary, but it was not from the Bose-Lyon family. Genetic experts determined that all 5 of these women potentially had a genetic disorder that caused disabilities in the female members of the bloodline on their mother's side. And since none of these people who were in the institution had had children, this mental illness is going to die out with them. It has no effect on the royal family. Yep, they hid it away. Sad. All right. Well, just thought I'd add that little bit to it for you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Top 11 Heritage. Now remember to check out my YouTube channel. It's got Celtic music, podcasts, Gaelic language, Gaelic song, Celtic history videos, plus lots more. And my Facebook group where you can give me your inputs and insights on all things Celtic.
Goodbye, Apple Baby. Masha Weave.
Goodbye, everybody. But I'm going to let you go with a song.
Winter winds come rushing in without warning and without sound. The autumn night has grown dim, and I'm walking on the cold hard ground. With the weight of winter on my mind, there might never be a sign. Sometimes footsteps make no sound when you're walking on the cold hard ground. So keep an eye on the horizon, even when the nights are long. Give it time and the sky will change. Whether falling or flying, we are all moving on. And in the light, we can find our way. If you see me fall behind, I hope you know I'm coming round. Frozen tears are hard to cry when you're walking on the cold hard ground. There is darkness, but there is dawn, and there will be a morning sun. For those we've lost and those that we've found, walking on the cold hard ground. So keep an eye on the horizon, even when the nights are long. Give it time we can find